Hi, welcome to the Passionate Spinner. My name is Tracy, and today I'm going to show you the setup of my reading journal for 2023. I did the whole setup yesterday, and I did not film it because that would have been a sped up video. It took forever, and I decided to just show it to you today, what I have decided to do. So this is my reading journal. I have used it for the last 2 years already. So I had 2021 here. And, decided to change a few things about it then in 2022, where it looked like this, the beginning, and then the shelf and the stats, the list and such. And now I'm going to show you what I have decided to do for this year. So in the beginning, I did a cover page for the whole year. And this was a piece of paper from a set that I bought, just like vintage looking papers. And those stickers all came from the same set as well. This I have made myself. It's a quote from George R.R. Martin, and I really liked it. And it says, "I have lived 1,000 lives and I've loved 1,000 loves. I've walked on distant worlds and seen the end of time because I read." And I think that sums up reading very, very well. So that is what I have decided to do for my cover page. And I did it on a different piece of paper because I was afraid I couldn't fit it in. So I decided to do it on a separate paper and then glue it in after, which was a good idea because, it barely fit. After the cover page, I did my bookshelf again. And for this year, I ran out of space and I had to glue in some another bit of shelf. I decided to do it differently and I went for a Dutch door. So I have cut this Dutch door here and have that look like a standing bookshelf, and the other one's just, on the shelf itself. I have drawn all of these by hand and then used some stamps to fill it in. And I have decided to do it in the same way I did last year, and that is by color coding the books. If it was a physical book that I read, an audiobook I listened to, or an ebook on my Kindle. So this year I gave myself 127 books. And the reason for that is that's how many I drew in. I didn't plan any of this. I just started by adding the stamps and then drew the books around them. So there's room for 127, which is very ambitious. I read 84 books this year. So 127 is ambitious, but I don't have to fill all of them in. I'm just, they're there. Next up, I decided I have a daily reading challenge. I've done that also last year. I'm going to show to you what it looked like. Last year I did it as a year in pixels, where I just marked if I read at all, green for a started book and red for a finished book. But this year I decided to just color in if I read or not. If I read on this day, I will color the box in. If I didn't, I will leave it blank. And that will give me a good overview in the end, how much I read. I used stamps for the lettering at the top, some stickers, and this was just a blank habit tracker that I printed and glued in. Next up, I have my reading master list, and this time it is very minimalistic. I just did Dutch doors again to have enough space. I gave myself 6 pages, and for that I can flip back again. This is what it looked last year. I would write down the number, the author, the title, what form it was, and the rating. And this year I will only do the number, the title, and the author, and nothing else. So I can hopefully fit one book into each line. And again, I had given myself 6 pages, but I had to add more. And I hope that by eliminating the star rating, the form of the book, I can fit more in here. what I did was I used washi tape and then stamped the words on a different set of bit of paper and glued them in, and actually used what I had cut off here to make these. Then I have my stats. They are exactly the same as last year. I'm going to show you last year's. They look like this. They're all filled in, my 84 books and, you know, all of the important stuff. And I just did the exact same thing and divided all the categories with washi tape. So that remained the same. Something new I did, I added in my Goodreads goal, and my goal this year, or 2022, was 50 books. And for 2023, I have 60. And the reason for that is I have 60 stamps on here. So I wanted to do it in a way where I would color in every book that I read will be one colored in whatever. And when I looked at my stamps, this little skull was the only one that was small enough and made sense, you know, as a thing like that. So I started stamping them in, and then I ended up with like 57. So I added the ones that are a bit squeezed in, you know, and made it 60 instead of 57, which I don't like that. You know, I like round numbers for stuff like this. So I again used washi tape and those stickers, and that's it. Very simple, easy to do. Then this one here is a Kindle Unlimited reading challenge, and I basically wanted to track how many books I actually read using Kindle Unlimited, because I pay for it every month, and I do know that I have listened to a few audiobooks through there, but I want to know if I'm using it enough for it to actually make sense to pay for every month, you know? So I just used a stamp again, wrote the month here, very small, they very much blend into the stamp. And all I want to do here is write in a number, you know? If I have read 2 books using Kindle Unlimited, I will add a 2 in here, and so forth. So that is what I wanted to do with this page. The bookshelf down here was something that I printed out for my son's reading journal because he really wanted to have one as well. And these were offcuts from what he used. So I just decided to use them in this spread. This is my least favorite one, and it just didn't turn out at all like I wanted. First of all, I ran out of space. So this is my monthly highlights. I wanted to have 12 of those frames and then just, you know, add them in month by month, but it doesn't turn out the way I wanted. And like I said, I ran out of space here for the last letter, and yeah, but it is what it is now. So I'm going to use it, and maybe it will look better once the books are filled in. Then next is my Illuminati Spread. This one I actually quite like. I tried to write it in the way that it is written, you know, the official Illuminati font look thing. I just put in 12 boxes so I can put in the books that I receive every month. And over here I've written backlog, and I want to write down all of the books I already have from Illuminati. And once I read it, you know, I can just cross them out and keep track of my Illuminati here. And it's one thing that I'm really happy that I have, and I do not want to give up. So that's this spread here. And this one is the one that's the scariest of all of them. I called it Read Your TBR Challenge. I found I watched a lot of reading journal setup videos, and this was one thing that I really liked from someone else. Also the Illuminati one found on somebody else's video. So the idea for this is to write down the number of physical books you own that you have not read yet for your TBR. I would not include ebooks, only physical. Then the number of books that you read or unhauled in this month, and the books you bought. And, you know, the numbers will change, hopefully, every month. And ideally, this number here, the actual physical TBR number here, would be way bigger than over here in December. But I am actually afraid to count my books. First of all, it's going to take forever, and the number is going to be very high. And I'm not sure if I'm ready to see it written down. But that is the idea for this one. And if I only am able to track, how many I read and how many I bought, and that read number is bigger than a bought number, it's already a win. But ideally, I do want to have that first big number in here as well. We'll see how that's going to work out. And the last spread that I have done is the Big Book Challenge. I have so many books, and lots of them are really big. Like when I say big, I mean over 500 pages. And I just don't seem to grab them. I tend to read shorter books around the 300 page mark. And I do have a lot of great fantasy books, and I really want to read them. So I thought maybe if I decide to read 6 of them throughout the year, one every other month, that would be great. So I'm not yet sure how I will fill these in, if this will be for the star rating, or if I will use this box for the pages, the page number, and then right here the title and my star rating and a little bit of notes or a comment about it. But yeah, this is what I came up with for that challenge. I tried to keep everything as simple and quick as possible, and it still took forever to do. And then we are in January. So I'm gonna flip back to last year because I want to show you what I used to do, and I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm just gonna go to September. So here I still have to fill in the book of the month. Let's go to August, because for August I filled it in. I know that. Where is August? Here it is. So this is what my usual monthly setup would look like. I would have a cover page, the book of the month page, and then a spreadsheet like this where I would write down the title, author, how many pages, what genre, what form, my star rating. And for August I used two pages because I read a lot. And so this was what I used to do. This time it looks like this, because I decided that I didn't want to have that spreadsheet anymore, but I wanted to give myself like half a page per book, where I could maybe add in the cover and then write down the title and all of the important things that I want to write down, but also have some space left for a comment. And I don't want to, have my pages now with lines, because I don't know how much I will have to say about the books yet. So I just wrote down January, and everything else will happen organically once I start finishing books and once I start filling it in. But maybe I will have a book that I love so much, I will do a full 2-page spread. Maybe I'll have a book that only needs that much space. I don't know yet. But I do know that I don't want to do the spreadsheet anymore in the way I used to do. And I want to write down a bit more information about my books. So that is my reading journal setup for this year. What I wanted to say, from here on, it's page 166. I have 40 pages left in the book, and I'm gonna fill them in as well as I can. And I'm just really excited about using it. I know that there are a lot of spreads where I have to do something either every day or every time I finished a book, but it's kind of half the fun, And I'm just, really happy with how it turned out. Even though it doesn't have a coherent look, kind of every spread is a bit different. But I don't think that that's a bad thing. I tried different things and I'm really happy with it now. So yeah, I'm excited about this year and about my reading for this year, and very much afraid of counting my unread books. So wish me luck with that one. And I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.